Hello, I'm Andy Beachy. I direct Adventure Serve Ministries, and for this next week I will be living in a shack in downtown Wilmore, living with less that others might have more, and it's all part of the Bluegrass Good Giving campaign. As a ministry, Adventure Serve coordinates volunteers to serve at many different partner agencies, and today I've got someone who's involved in one of those agencies that I'm going to have a conversation with about caring for those on the margins. And her name is Diane Stein, and I believe she's the president of the board at the Jasmine County Food Pantry. Go ahead and tell us, Diane, if you like, maybe what drew you to become involved briefly about with the Jasmine County Food Pantry and what your role is there.
Okay. My husband and I moved here when we retired about 5 years ago, moved to the area, and I was looking for something to volunteer in, and my church had an association with the food pantry. I'm a retired teacher. My degree, I taught what we called life sciences or consumer science, so I have always been interested in nutrition. And so it was an easy fix. It was an easy thing to go to the food pantry.
Perfect.
I started volunteering and then volunteering more and more and got involved. And eventually they said, well, you know, let's get you on the board.
Yeah.
And then, hey, let's make you board president. So
one thing led to the other.
Yeah.
Just plug yourself in.
Yeah.
Excellent. And tell us a little bit about what the Jasmine County Food Pantry does.
Okay. Jasmine County Food Pantry provides food for any resident of Jasmine County who needs food. And we're a USDA pantry. We can only provide food once a month, so we don't even pretend that we're giving people enough food for a month. But we figure we are providing enough support to make your dollars stretch, the dollars that you do have.
Right, because many of these folks do have jobs, but they have kind of self-identified, I'm in need, and they bring you an ID card.
All they have to do for us is to provide us a picture ID and some form of proof of residency in Jasmine County. We do not ask of proof of income or anything.
About how many people are served monthly?
Well, we serve over 400 families a month.
So as far as people, it's much larger than that.
Yeah, everything, single person families, all the way up to households with, 7 and 8 people in it. And depending on the size of your household, you get different amounts of food.
Do you think you could tell me, maybe to kind of make it a little more personal, not actually people's names or anything, just kind of like a description of maybe 2 different family units, one that might be on the clear need and then one that we wouldn't even think may be in need?
A large majority of our clients are elderly, single, who are trying to live on Social Security, and their Social Security check was probably not very big even when they started receiving it 25 years ago.
And inflation has changed it.
Now that prices have gone up and housing and everything, so they definitely count on the food that we give them. And then we've got most recently the families who have been hit by the pandemic, have been hit with losing their jobs.
Are some of these individuals or individuals within the families actually making some employment?
Some of them are, but
just not enough for the kids and for the whole family.
Yes, not enough. If they've lost one job, and so many people are 2 income, because it takes 2 incomes very often these days to live.
Tell us how the pandemic has impacted the food pantry from everywhere from how you do the work as well as who's in need.
Okay. We used to be called what was a storefront. We actually have a very small space, but we have it set up in aisles just like a grocery store, and people would come in and a volunteer would take them through, and based on the size of their family, they would pick and choose what they wanted from our grocery shelves. Well, in March, all of a sudden we realized that's
Nobody
not
can come
viable
into our
anymore.
space.
You know, not only do we not want to put our clients at risk, but we do not want to put our
and many of them
volunteers
are
at
at
risk.
higher risk
Right.
for
and
the.
a lot of our volunteers are also at risk.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to quickly reshuffle, and we went back to an old model that they had had, and we packed boxes, and we've got, you know, canned foods in there, cereals, pastas. We kind of have a set box that we pack. And depending on the size of your family, you get that one plus some supplemental boxes.
So they'll still drive to you, but then you just give them a
Right.
designated
So now-
box, so less choice as
Now,
far as what they're going to
instead
get.
Yeah, it's because we're part of Feeding America. We have contracts with the local Krogers and Walmarts,
Excellent.
and the meats and the breads and the pastry and produce and everything that they give us, then we put out on tables. And so along with their box of canned goods and staples,
Wow.
then they get X amount of meat.
Yeah,
Depending
things
on
that
what we have,
go
we
in
give
the
them a
fridge, sure.
choice of
Yeah.
you know, meat, and then they go to our tables and they're able to pick.
You said there has been an uptick with the pandemic.
Yeah.
Is there any measurements or estimates on what that's been for just your
We have seen it ebb and flow. March and April, things were slow. I think people were even afraid at the beginning to get out. Then May through now, our numbers have just continued to increase. And with the CARES Act,
Yes.
and then
Yeah, we
not
applied for
renewing-
the CARES Act,
and
yeah.
not renewing the unemployment benefit things. I know they end tomorrow for
yeah.
a lot of
Yeah,
Kentuckians
yeah.
because just, you know, the way some of
Sure,
the numbers
sure.
work in Kentucky.
Just comes down to where the finances are
Yeah.
for so many of our residents.
So we expect to see throughout the winter even larger numbers.
So
of
400
people
family units now. What was your average in 2019? Do you know? Or
just under
400,
400 a month.
okay, got it.
And so, you know, as people, there's an ebb and flow anyway.
Yeah,
But we are
sure.
getting more. We've got our base elderly who aren't moving,
yeah.
and then who continue to have need. And then we've got some of the newer families and newer people with, you know, the insecurities.
Tell me, what connections do you know of with Adventure Serve?
You know, I'm aware of it through my work through my church. You know, I've heard of Adventure Serve. My husband works with the youth at our church, and so he's been on an Adventure
Oh,
Serve
has he? I didn't know
summer
that. Excellent.
project.
Very good.
And with the high schoolers, because of we're part of the Taste of Jasmine. I know last year you guys came on as a
we
as a
almost
group.
yeah, and then it got canceled.
Yeah,
but
that got
yes,
canceled.
yeah.
But you know, at that point, I did a little bit of investigation.
Sure,
and
sure.
just being aware of who you are within the town here of Wilmore.
Yeah,
And what
yeah.
you do.
And we do occasionally send volunteers your way. And of course, after this meeting, I'm going to hand you out some more masks.
Yeah, we get our mask from you.
That was not our mask, donated to us through FEMA and the Kentucky Disaster Relief. Tell me a little bit of some things that just make you happy or see some successes, or just an encouragement to those that are watching of how they can make a difference for this population that live within stone's throw of them.
First of all, I would say don't think that just because you're okay, that your neighbor's okay. So remember that food insecurity is all around us. Of course, we're always in need of financial aid, and we think that this winter is going to really put us, you know, our budget's going to really be stretched. So if you are, you know, have money that you are able to give as a donation, please, charitable donation, please remember us. Also, if you have children in the Jasmine County schools and you got one of those EBT cards, but you're thinking, well, I don't need to use this, I'm doing okay, use that EBT card. Go to your grocery store, buy canned goods, normal size, standard size ones, and bring them to the food pantry. Don't let the money on that EBT card just disappear, because that's a real concern that, you know, and everyone got it. because Jasmine County
And the more
Schools-
cards that come in, probably the more dollars that Jasmine
Yeah.
County Food Pantry
But,
gets
yeah.
for the next year or
So,
whatnot.
but the purpose, of course, was to provide food make sure students had food.
Yeah.
But we are aware that there are a lot of families out there who are saying, "Well, I don't need this." So, and you can do a lot of good for the food pantry if you just go to the store and use that and bring the food onto the store.
And there's so many of us that are on the edge, and we have to just accept that sometimes.
Right.
And it'd be better to take advantage of this service so that we can make sure that we can buy the devices needed for education,
Right,
or
right.
maybe
And,
not work
yeah,
as many hours so
yeah.
that we can be with our kids. Or
And we don't judge anyone who comes. We just ask you to, provide the right documentation, and we try to make things as easy for you as possible.
thank you so much, Diane, and thanks for watching. This episode of Porch Conversations is brought to you by First Southern National Bank, an excellent bank here in Jasmine County that commits to giving away 10% of their income on a regular basis as part of their Christian faith. And again, if you have a chance to go on Bluegrass Good Giving, please do. And there's a lot of nonprofits at that website to consider giving to.
Andy, thank you for having me here. I'm always glad to get the word out about the Jasmine County Food Pantry. Thank you.
It's been great meeting you, and also just to meet a volunteer, a steady volunteer, because that's what so many people can do.
Yeah.
Just give your time, and as you plug into something that you get passionate about, there's other ways that you can be involved.
Oh, yeah,
And
totally.
so thanks for your service to our community.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you. Good luck here.
Yeah, I hope you can continue to enjoy your holiday.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.